EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live first-round coverage of the Mid-Season Classic. Hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner alongside my colleague Frank Navalo here today calling the action from the cliffs at Lighthouse Point. And Frank, this course features some breathtaking scenery.
It certainly does, Rich. Changes of elevation, and it's in phenomenal shape. We've got to send our thanks out to the superintendent, Peyton Duncan, who's got the course exactly primed. You should enjoy it. You should enjoy the views. Take your camera as well. This is very scenic up in New England.
That's a good spot right there.
Center cut.
Frank, at this, the highest level of the game, the margins are so razor thin between winning and losing. It becomes about not wasting shots, and I think that's why players really enjoy stroke play.
I think you hit the nail on the head, Rich. That's why the best players, they want every shot to count. And the best format of golf that requires that is stroke play. In match play, you can get away with a big number. In stroke play, they want it to be a body of work. Every single shot adding to the score.
Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole.
Well, not in contention, but in for par. If you're just joining us, let's take you out to our featured golfer at the 5th. Frank, when you get out of the gates, as our featured golfer has done, with a lot of pars, steady play, what's the mindset?
You've got to keep doing that, Rich. Just maybe get a little closer to the hole, drive a little bit better, work on the pace of the putting. Just little gains, and then all of a sudden you're going to notice a big difference in the scorecard.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
Well, that's how you play the game right there. Knock it on the green and give yourself a good look at birdie. Frank starting to make the move.
Leaderboard very volatile at the moment, so a lot of move in that middle piece of the leaderboard. Top 20 so far.
Par 3 6th is relatively short, 198 yards, Frank.
But this one, really, you've got to go airborne here. That bunker that protects the left side and front, you've got to carry that and get it to land soft so it doesn't skip through the back of the screen.
Well, that's how you play the game, right there. Frank going for another birdie here.
Just to get on a real roll. Sneaking into contention here with that birdie.
Top 15 now on the leaderboard. 7th hole at Lighthouse Point is only 370 yards. Frank, are you happy if you walk out of here with anything other than birdie?
If you hit the fairway, you definitely should be looking at birdie. But the biggest problem here is to decide, Rich, what club to hit off the tee. You could hit a multitude of clubs here. Further up you go, the narrower this fairway gets.
He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball. And this shot is on the fairway, over 300 yards. Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on there. Easy birdie.
Settles in over the putt. Comfortably inside the cut line, the young prodigy makes another birdie. Another par 3. We're at the 8th. It is only 165 yards. Oh, this could be good. That is a gorgeous shot inside of 5 feet. Moves into second place with that birdie. So, one round in the books and a lot to chew on here.
There is. This is going to be a tough championship to pull away. The standard of golf, especially that first page of the leaderboard. Excellent golf.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live second-round coverage of the Mid-Season Classic. Pretty good drive here.
Another straight one.
That ball's run out certainly over 300 yards, Frank. Call it about 310. That should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. A sensational shot right there, Frank.
Oh, you start beating your chest after a shot like that. That's the best we've seen into this hole to date. Well, birdies are hard to come by in this situation. So tight.
Keeps him right in the thick of it. Fifth hole now at Lighthouse Point. Frank, it's a beefy par 4.
Another hole without any fairway bunkers off the tee, but really the main defense here at the Cliffs is the elements. Find the fairway, and you'll also be hitting to a green that is protected by a little bunker to the right side of that and short. So precision, once again, required here.
And now it's right in his wheelhouse. Good position where he can attack the pin.
Yeah, he has all those options now. With that ball sitting up, you can bring it in high, you can bring it in low. The choice is yours.
Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man. See if he can go one better than yesterday when he made par. This putt for birdie. Has it. Now to 7 under for the tournament. Now at the 6th hole, it's a par 3, just under 200 yards. Where's the challenge here, Frank?
Well, you've got to love that bunker on the left side, Rich, especially because it's shaped like a letter L. Got to fly that. Green's not too deep. So really the challenge is trying to flight that ball in amongst the breeze should it kick up.
This hole really sets up well for the player. Birdie yesterday, and a chance for another one today. These putts keep the round together. Just continuing to play some really good golf. 8 under par for the championship. Par 4 7th, only 370 yards. Frank, decision to be made off that tee.
It is. I walked this hole, Rich, to the narrowest point of the fairway. It's 278 yards, and if you want to carry that left side, you're going to have to be strong, 300 yards. So really, I don't know if driver's the play. Maybe freeward's too much. You might have to throttle back even further. So the hole might be short. You just might get a little bit of a longer second shot than what the scorecard would normally allow you.
And to generate some momentum here at the 7th hole. This for birdie. Getting set now over the putt. Beautifully done. That's a birdie. Now another par 3. We're at the 8th. Frank, it's only 165 yards.
It is, but when you look at the green, you can see how narrow it is. Actually, the green is nearly a figure 8, so it's obviously the right number hole. Bunker's sort of short leftish and that little pocket area on the right, so it'll punish anything left or right, even though the hole's just that meager yardage.
He's making the game look very simple right now. See it, hit it, and he's got it right on track. This from 7 feet. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. So all the scores have been posted for round number 2, and look who is on top of the leaderboard, Frank.
Yeah, with 2 very solid rounds of golf. Key right now, just stay out of your own way and keep it up. The pressure will start to build. We know that as you get closer to the end of this tournament.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live third-round coverage of the Mid-Season Classic. Nicely played shot, about 310 yards down the fairway. Second shot, good look at the green. Appears to be what they call a commercial play, very solid. Birdie try up next. Birdie try again here today. Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Wow, that was so close, Frank.
Just time to forget that one. I mean, he couldn't hit that much better.
You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. That's a bogey, but still in the lead.
We start to see shots in hand really valuable.
Now at the fifth here at Lighthouse Point, it's a par 4. Frank, what are we in store for?
When you stand on this tee, Rich, you don't see any fairway bunkers, but be careful. It can certainly fool you. The goal really with the Cliffs course is to find fairways. Yeah, that's fine.
Frank, through the years, we have seen countless what we would call good ball strikers, great swingers of the golf club, but there is something else that separates those kinds of players with the truly great achievers in the sport. What is it?
Great achievers have more than one plan. I think most players, it's always good if they're playing their golf. But what do you do if your driving is off or if your iron play is off? Do you have a plan B? Great players not only have a plan B, they have a plan C as well. And that's the difference. So when you set foot on the first tee, you've also got to be aware of, what if my driver doesn't go as well as I would like to, or my iron play isn't as sharp? Can I still compete?
So they can turn 74 into a 71.
That's right. And at the end of a 4-day tournament, the 71 doesn't look so bad, even if somebody shot 65 that day. Remember, as you know, and both of us know now, when you look at 4 days, someone always plays average for a day, but they don't play bad.
Golf tournaments aren't 100-yard sprints, they're marathons. Well, that one didn't work out. It didn't look bad in the air. It hit the green, but didn't sit.
Yeah, it was never going to stop. If you hit enough shots, every now and again, one's going to go in.
Crazy, crazy game. Now to the 7th hole here at Lighthouse Point. Frank, we all love the shorter par 4s.
There's so many decisions to be made here at 7. If you look at the scorecard, it's not very long, but when you start to flash your driver down that right side, you'll notice that fairway gets very narrow. So the decision is really, that's the prudent play or not. From there, it's just a short iron in, and you should be looking at birdie. Rich, now's the time to knuckle down. I know things haven't gone right up to this point, but really, this is where you can still get something out of it. Just give yourself that opportunity. You're good enough.
Beauty of golf, Frank. One good strike comes off the center of the bat, one good result, and you begin to feel differently about things. Trying to make yet another birdie.
Well, I thought they'd at least pick up a shot. Birdie looked like a sitter. Now at par.
Just a couple of feet. He'll take par and move on. Getting set at the 8th hole. It's a par 3 of 165 yards. Break it down for us, partner.
This gets really narrow in the middle of this green, Rich. That's sort of the biggest problem. Matter of fact, only had 12 yards from that left side to the right in the middle. And the green itself, actually, is 3 times that in length, 36 yards. So straightness is the key here.
What a display of shot making this has been, Frank.
That incredible approach shot there. The easiest of birdies coming up.
A makeable putt right here. He is currently sitting at 1 under par. Frank, we have said it over and over. Another birdie. Frank, that front page of the leaderboard has been looking good all week.
You're exactly right, Rich. I think our winner is certainly going to come from that list right now. I'm excited for tomorrow's final round.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live final round coverage of the Mid-Season Classic. That is tasty looking right there, Frank. Just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from there.
Really good distance control there, playing well to his strengths. Now this for birdie, came away with par in the previous round. Good putt.
A cursory look at the scorecard, Rich, and well, it looks hard at 240 yards, but that elevation is going to chew off quite a bit of yardage off the scorecard. Really, it's a good chance for a birdie on this closing stretch. V-shaped green, as long as you're on the right section of the green, could have a chance for birdie.
This is a good-looking shot.
It was almost like that's what he wanted to do, but why would you want it to run over the back? Remember, out of the rough. Expect the ball to jump forward a little bit.
Nice approach shot. He'll be happy with that. This one just requires a little bit of focus. That's how you maintain momentum. You make those putts for par. 17th hole is another par 5 over 600 yards. You get a terrific view of Juniata Crossway Bridge just ahead. And Frank, if you jump over that bridge, you can get a dynamite lobster roll at Nielsen's Lobster Shack. I don't know if you've ever had it.
Oh,
but
it's one of the best.
It just adds to sort of the charm of this area. But what a hole this is.
S-shaped par 5. You can see it bending to the right off the tee, and then the hole starts to go the other way with magnificent view of the bridge you're just referring to. Reachable for the longest hitters, but once again, avoid the bunkers, and they're all down the right side.
He's set up for his third shot here, looking to get it on the green with this. I mean, that's how the game is played, right there.
He's just making it look so easy. That birdie coming up, formality.
Clean this up with a tap. He's made it. Frank, we've made it to the finishing hole. If you're having a good day, you stop and you reflect for just a moment. The beauty surrounding you, how well you've played. If it hasn't gone all that well, you're thinking about jumping on the Juniata Crossway Bridge off to the left and getting out of Dodge. That's in the fairway. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's a formality now.
Putting on a show, this tournament moves to 15 under par. And that wraps up the final round. Just a great performance by our champion today.
Couldn't agree more, Rich. I think this one will have to go down in the books as an absolute classic. Fantastic play, not only in the course today, but all week long.
NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live opening round coverage of the Arizona Summer Classic. Here at the TPC Scottsdale in Arizona, and Frank, when so many people tune in to watch this great event, they think immediately of the 16th hole, with all of those fans jammed in. It's like Fenway Park inside the desert there. But it's much more than that little par 3, isn't it?
It certainly is more than that, Rich. The TPC Scottsdale is a great venue for a PGA Tour event. It's a blend of everything. Birdie opportunities, holes that are fought by water, bunkering that's being changed. All in all, it's a great atmosphere with nearly 500,000 people that visit this during the tournament week.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
It should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Ooh, nice play right there. That's in pretty close. Settles in over the putt. That was a good-looking putt, just not falling right now.
Sadly, he's going to be disappointed.
He has this attempt for par. Well, not in contention, but in for par. Par 4 sixth, and Frank, a couple of options here.
Yeah, a hole that bends to the left. A draw is the preferred shot off the tee. The longer hitters will have a big advantage. They'll be able to get it down there and just have a pitch or a short wedge into this. If you're not, that long, then you're going to have to lay it back short of those bunkers. That's going to leave a lengthy second shot.
Well, those are good numbers right there. 320, 320 yards. Just crushed it in the fairway. Can't hide the flagstick from that man.
Even par currently.
You get the sense now with that birdie that our young star, so explosive, is setting himself up for a big weekend run. Frank, where's the difficulty here on the 7th hole, the par 3 of more than 200 yards?
Well, Rich, front hole locations are always probably the toughest here because that's the narrowest part of the green. Bunkering really hasn't changed, and the green still does widen up, but the hole tends to play slightly uphill.
Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Well, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
Frankie's going for 2 birdies in a row.
If he can knock this one in, then that's certainly going to help the confidence.
Needs a few more of those. That was a good birdie.
Yeah, this time, that one gets him in the top 10.
Frank, the par 4 8th, this is a good hole.
It is. A dogleg to the left forces the player to go out the right, and this will play every inch of its yardage, which is over 470 yards. Green's still pretty much the same with that false front. Unless there's a flag position in the front, you're really going to have to fly it at least 20 yards or so into that green. Otherwise, that ball is going to run towards the front.
See if our featured player can do something right today.
Yeah, when you're swinging well, obviously, target looks as big as a barn. But on days like today, everything looks difficult.
This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
On the green in regulation. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. And with that birdie, moving into the top 5 on the leaderboard.
And we're starting to notice the name.
Rounding out the front 9 with a par 4 of 453 yards from the back tee. Looks to be straight away here, Frank. Anything to be cautious about on this tee shot?
Well, that bunker, there used to be 2 bunkers down the right side. There is now 1, and it also pinches into the fairway, which almost makes this hole look like a faint dogleg right. But really, the best line is still down the left side, so it still actually suits a draw off the tee. Green is slightly elevated and not very deep too, so judging that second shot, getting the right club is essential here at 9.
Pretty good shot right there.
Just moving that much closer to the leader now, Rich.
That's the end of round 1, and we saw a lot of good golf out there today, Frank.
And it was a bonus to anyone that got off to a good start today.
NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. It's second-round coverage of the Arizona Summer Classic. Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on that. Easy birdie.
Frank going for another birdie here.
Just to get on a real roll.
Methodically starting to climb the leaderboard now. 4 under par for the tournament with yet another birdie. Well, Frank, now at the 5th hole, the par 4, the challenge stiffens just a bit.
Yeah, the longest par 4, obviously in the start of this golf course, around the 470-yard mark. 2 bunkers down the right have been changed to 1, but it's in the perfect position now. Of course, that new tee added to add a little bit of length to this hole. The green still remains relatively similar to what it used to be.
Frank, this is a way to make golf easy when you can hit it that deep.
Oh, I'm going to say, I know that first number's a 3. I'm guessing the second one's a 2. Let's call it 320.
Frank, even at major championships, a good crowd on a single day might be 25 to 30,000. Consider this for just a moment. At the TPC Scottsdale in 2013, round number 3 on Saturday, almost 180,000 fans jammed into that ballpark.
It's hard to imagine that's twice the gate at a Super Bowl on a golf course. Now, obviously, some of it's hidden because of the size of the acreage. But golf just doesn't get that type of crowds anywhere else in the world. But it works at TPC Scottsdale. They have a crowd that keeps going back. They have the Bird's Nest, for example, that goes there. The parties that ring around it. It's an atmosphere that golf never gets anywhere else. But it really works there. The players feel it too. They breathe it. And this is 1 week of the year. Just 1 week where they do feel like superstars.
It's a mix of soft spikes and stiletto heels. There's nothing quite like the TPC Scottsdale.
It's fine.
Frank, that golf ball's sitting up like a red velvet cake in a bakery. It looks pretty, doesn't it?
Time to take a bite of it. Savor it. Hit the next one close.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. Birdie try up next. Locked in on the read and the speed. Did a nice job with that putt. Good read, good speed. Not a gimme, but well within his range. That's costly right there.
Painful.
So a tester from 4 feet. Not too bad, he gives one back. On to the par 3 7th, 215 yards from that back tee box, Frank.
This hole hasn't really changed. Still has that V-shaped green where it's very narrow in the front. A high-flying shot in here that carries that front edge, and you'll find the further and further you go back there, the more receptive and that green starts to widen.
Well, that one didn't work out. Didn't look bad in the air. It hit the green, but didn't sit.
Yeah, it was never going to stop.
Second shot coming out of the rough here. Frank, how about that?
Well, can you believe that too? I mean, could have hit the flag and bounced away instead, straight in. Amazing shot, and really deserves it.
Frank, right where you want to be at the midway point of a tournament.
Yeah, you know your game's solid. The focus is more on the leader, and that you can just go out and play. Excellent position to be in.
NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live third-round coverage of the Arizona Summer Classic. Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. Really in control of this hole. Birdie yesterday and another opportunity on the way. Getting set now over the putt.
A few more birdies like that, Rich, you never know, just might sneak place on the podium.
In the top 10 right now. Now to the fifth hole and a challenging par 4.
Slightly longer this year, played off a new tee at the back, and there used to be two bunkers down the right side. They've now been put together to form one, and in the perfect position that really make you think about your tee shot. It takes a very big drive to try and carry that bunker on the right. It's going to be at least 315 plus yards to get past that. Green itself still tilts a little left to right and back towards the player.
That one inside of 10 feet, really dialed in. 8-foot putt here.
And yet another birdie, this time inching into the top 5.
Now to the par 4 6th. Decision time, Frank. Driver, or do you go with 3-wood?
A lot of that's going to depend on if there's any breeze. If the breeze is at your back, you can drive it all the way down the right side and take those two bunkers down the right completely out of play. This hole's being stiffened up, though. The length hasn't increased with that bunkering in that choke point. So the strategy, do you have the length to get past them? Or if you have to lay up, it's going to leave a much longer second shot.
Second shot. Good look at the green. On the green, and looking at a birdie opportunity. And it's a long way to the hole from here. Never easy. Frank, that's what you want to do. Good lag putt.
Yeah, they can't all go in.
Shouldn't be a problem here. That's a solid par. Still in it, Frank. Now to the second par 3 on the front 9. This is the 7th hole.
Yeah, quite a stiff par 3 because of the narrowness in the front. Really favoring a higher shot that's going to land softly, and therefore you can open up that green, because the further back you go, the wider it gets.
That will be a great look at birdie. It's the beautiful part of golf. Brand new day, new hole. Remember, he made a bogey here yesterday, this time for birdie. Moves into second place with that birdie. This is a good hole, Frank, the par 4 8th.
Yet another dogleg left, Rich, on the front side. And it's a sharper dogleg now because they've put in 2 bunkers down the left side. It used to be a bailout area for the players in the past. You can't do that anymore. And I doubt anybody can fly it over that left one. It's nearly 330 yards to carry that in the air. Those 2 bunkers have forced the players to go out to the right, making that second shot a little bit longer now.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
This is a good-looking shot. Just a case of a hole suiting the player's eye. Made the birdie yesterday, and he has a good chance to make another one today. Came to the putt excited to make birdie. Now, settle for par.
Yeah, a little change in the attitude right now. When you've let one go, you've got to really knuckle down there and make sure you don't drop a shot. It's important this one goes in.
Nothing wrong with that par putt. So through 54 holes, a really good position inside the top 5 with 1 round to go.
Yeah, and those handful of players that we're looking at, Rich, they certainly have looked the best players this week, which makes tomorrow look like a real thriller.
NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live final round coverage of the Arizona Summer Classic. That is just a beautiful shot. Looks like he's going to have a go at it here at the par 5, his second shot. Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Big swing right there, a great result, and now a chance for a big swing in momentum with an eagle coming up. This one just requires a little bit of focus. Ooh, so close. So the eagle goes begging. He still has this for birdie. See if he can go one better than yesterday when he made par. This putt for birdie. Frank, that birdie will help the cause. Frank, the one moment that sort of made the 16th hole what it is today would have to be Tiger's ace in 1997 here at the TPC Scottsdale when it was raining plastic cups.
It was also his reaction, too, and that ushered in the Tiger Woods era that we've been associated with, which is the fist pumping, the rowdy spectators. And he was one of the few players that bridged the gap between spectator and golfers. And it still goes on till today. And I think Rory probably is the only other player that starts to broach that type of inside and outside atmosphere with golf.
Still to this day, it's the loudest single moment that I can ever remember hearing on a golf course. Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
Just 5 feet left. Nothing wrong with that par putt. Now to the 17th, and Frank, fair to say this is one of the best short par fours in all of golf?
It is. The drivable par 4 that's designed the way it's meant to be played is a winner. The ones that are just shortened to be made drivable, they don't work. This was designed to be a 17th hole, and it was designed to be drivable. You couldn't get a better place, and you couldn't get a better par 4.
Might need some wings just to clear this hazard.
That water is looking rather intimidating.
Now on to his third shot after the last one went into the water. Just in the first cut of rough, not a bad lie. The only issue is he might get a jumper here. Wow, what a shot. Doesn't even need the putter.
Rich, 18 was always considered a long finishing hole.
Not for J.B. Holmes.
Yeah, the water was always in play. And then the day he took it over the left side and carried everything and went on to win, that completely changed the way this golf course played ever since that day.
And it resulted in some of the changes we're seeing now.
Yeah, evidence, the new bunkering down the left side. But it showed us all how much and how strong these guys are, how much they've improved over the years.
Chance to set himself up for a good scoring opportunity with his second shot here.
Should be safely on deck.
That is a beauty, a real beauty. And getting ready for the putt. Very impressive and on the move right now. Frank, that was an impressive round out there today.
Couldn't agree more, Rich. We've seen some great shots out there, and I'm excited to see how the rest of this tournament plays out.
EA Sports and the R&A are proud to present opening round coverage of the Open Championship. Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin. And he's set up for his second shot here, looking to knock it on the green. Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. Really good distance control there, playing well to his strengths. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Moves into the top 10 with that birdie. Let's check in on the action at hole number 14. Just a mediocre first round up to this point from our featured golfer. Frank, what are some keys to making something happen down the stretch?
Well, if this is the worst score that they shoot all week, I think that's one of the keys, because this is a position to vault forward from. Rich, there's great drivers of the ball. We've seen Norman, Nicholas over the years, but that there is just excellent. Lovely full turn, plenty of power, and just piped it.
Made it look easy right there, and he's such a good-looking player. When he's dialed in, swinging the way he is right now, just a pleasure to watch. Wouldn't say that was his best, but not bad either, on the green and with a putt. Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
Always two components to the long lag putt, the speed, number one, and then the read, and missed out on that second part. Comfortably inside the cut line, the young prodigy makes another birdie. Back here at the 15th, and Frank, this fairway narrows up in a hurry.
And it's also, there's a big crop of heather that sort of constrains you if you're going to hit it just straight down the middle. Only the brave go down the right side. Brings in those little bunkers called robs, and they'll rob your scorecard, that's for sure.
Great lie, and what a great shot. He has really hit it a long way. Setting up for an approach shot here. What makes the old course at St. Andrews so memorable is not just the round of golf, but it's the setting. It's the old town. It's people watching from the windows nearby. All of that makes it really a good experience. These putts keep the round together. Jonas Blick's now making a bit of a move. He's only 2 shots back.
One more birdie will certainly get the leader's attention.
Frank, the 16th hole, famous for the principal's nose, and I can't help but think of Mrs. Hartman from 4th grade.
Well, I don't know.
She didn't like us.
I don't know how Mrs. Hartman would have played this hole, but she would have been wary of the out of bounds on the right. And that's why the general consensus is you not only avoid the principal's nose, but you hit the tee shot a little bit further left. It might lengthen the hole, but it is certainly the more prudent strategy.
Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living.
This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
See if you can get this one to drop here at the 16th for a birdie. Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole.
Frank, how does that par help his cause?
It certainly doesn't hurt it.
Frank, so many famous landmarks on this hole. The hotel on the right, you want to avoid that. The bunker on the left, and then the stone wall beyond the road.
Yeah, there's all those features is one of the reasons why no one would be allowed to design a hole like this today. It also makes it not only unique, but I think that's the greatness of the hole, is that all those problems you're very aware of. It's just, can you avoid them? That's beyond long.
That is a sensational play right there, and you have to think that the little helping breeze gave that a nice boost.
He can't be that good.
So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. Let's see if he does it here.
That's how the best in the world play it, Frank.
Well, I'd say a little lucky that it went in, but it was always going to be close.
Frank, the 18th hole at the old course, when you stand on the tee, it doesn't look like much. But when you begin to factor in all the history, all the greats who have played, well, then it is quite the hole.
It certainly is. Remember the great putts like Constantina Rocca making it from the front to try and get in a playoff with John Daly, Jack Nicklaus driving the green. It's all been made possible by the ambitious player here. You've got to swing it across the Swilken Burn, out of bounds on the right and beyond the screen, but it is reachable. But the mere mortals, they'll aim a little left. They'll aim at the clock face on the R&A building.
So maybe a nice way to finish up with a good approach here to the 18th and a good chance for birdie.
Really? This is an awkward length.
Never quite had enough oomph on that.
Yeah, sort of a wishy-washy stroke.
Trying to grind out a par here. Needs it. So, hanging in down the stretch with a par. Frank, you surprised to see that name on top of the leaderboard?
I am surprised to see the name, but not that style of golf leading. It was great performance, especially tee to green. You don't often see people start that quickly.
EA Sports and the R&A are proud to present second round coverage of the Open Championship. He makes a great pass at the golf ball. It's powerful, but it's rhythmic at the same time. Wow, that is a monster drive down there, about 315 yards. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot. Now this for birdie came away with par in the previous round. Came to the putt excited to make birdie. Now, settle for par.
Yeah, a little change in the attitude right now. When you've let one go, you've got to really knuckle down there and make sure you don't drop a shot. It's important this one goes in.
That's how you maintain momentum and make those putts for par. Par fives, this is where players look to make the move in a major championship. How does this fifth hole par five measure up, Frank?
Well, if you can avoid the bunkers, they're actually left and right, but especially that little group of 3 bunkers, then it sets up well. It'll be a blind second shot, but you try and guide your second shot between the 2 bunkers on the hill in front of you, which are called the spectacles.
I mean, he just blasted it down the fairway, well over 325 yards. And now the second shot here at this par 5. Well, hit the green, but certainly not close to the hole.
Yeah, probably barely give him a C for that shot.
Looks like he just misread that. This is a 9-footer.
Just moving that much closer to the leader now, Rich.
Moving on to the par 4 6th hole here at the birthplace of golf. This hole shares a green actually with the 12th. How do you work your way around this hole, Frank?
Some sort of tee shot, 3 bunkers that look like they're in the left center of the fairway and a series of bunkers down the right. So somehow bisect those and then you set yourself up to a green with a false front.
And now it's right in his wheelhouse, good position where he can attack the pin.
Yeah, he has all those options now. That ball's sitting up, you can bring it in high, you can bring it in low. The choice is yours.
Another good swing, and it looks like, Frank, another really good shot. Good, clean contact, and a nice result. And a chance for birdie coming up. See if he can go one better than yesterday when he made par. This putt for birdie.
Oh, how did that miss?
Are you kidding me? I mean, that one was dead center. Makeable putt right here, currently sitting at 1 under for the round. In for par. Over the ball here at the 7th, and Frank, if you had to script a game plan here, what would it look like?
You could drive this pretty close to the green. This is a green that's shared with the 11th, the par 3. And so you won't see that tee shot finish, but you can actually drive very, very close to a bunker called the shell, which is the one that protects the par 3 11th.
315.
Well, it's going to take a good one here considering what they've already gone through, Rich. Right now, that green is going to look very small, so it's going to take a good shot here to give himself an opportunity.
Some really poor play to this point. This has been just a pure display of ball striking all day long. Has not missed a single green, every one in regulation. Well, there's an opportunity wasted.
Just knocking him for a par, and let's forget about this one. Golf is not about perfect, but it is going to hurt the cause. Really solid stroke.
2 rounds in the books, Frank, and a good spot from which to make a move.
Yeah, well positioned. Really, if you're leading, it's a different pressure. Being in the chaser pack there, playing well, what a great position to go into with 2 rounds to go.
EA Sports and the R&A are proud to present 3rd round coverage of the Open Championship. Now at the 12th, and Frank, when you put the peg in the ground here, are you licking your chops?
Well, you are, unless you're playing into a head breeze, because if you are playing a head breeze, then you've got to worry about the 4 bunkers that are in the middle of this fairway. Touch of help, or if you're a long hitter, then all you've got to do is worry about that little pot bunker just short of this green. There is gorse left and right. Errant tee shot here, Rich, but going to have to muscle this one out of the rough.
Second shot coming out of the rough here. How about that shot right there from that lie in the rough to knock it that close? That's good. Par yesterday. Now for birdie. Player knows they're on the move with that birdie. Quick glance at the leaderboard. They can see, Frank, they're not out of it.
Things are very volatile right now. Well, Mr. Ball does not meet Mr. Fairway. It's off, rough.
And setting up here in the rough. It should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man. And this would be nice. 2 straight birdies. Has it now to 7 under for the tournament. Frank, what are we looking at here at the big par 5 14th?
Out of bounds on the right, and those little series of pot bunkers called the birdies. Now, if you get in trouble here, you can bail out with your second shot down the left, which is the 4th fairway. That's one other option of playing this par 5. But a good tee shot, and you can certainly go at this for 2.
Excellent start off the tee. That's a great way to begin this hole. Nice position, short grass, second shot. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at...
It's in the hole. Just a sensational shot right there. Time to tee it up here at the 15th as we begin the closing stretch here at the Open Championship of the Old Course at St. Andrews.
There's a big steeple in the distance, so even when it starts to fog in a bit, if you can keep your eye on that, that's a good line off the tee. And you've got to keep it, your tee shot just short of this sort of heather, big crop of heather down the left side. It still leaves you a lengthy second shot, but really that's the safest way to try and play this par 4 15th. Very good par 4.
Second shot, good look at the green. Terrific golf shot. And now that for an easy birdie. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Really starting to shine, moves to 10 under for the tournament. Frank, in golf, there's nothing quite like the final round of a hotly contested championship, and this one could be a doozy.
And there's nothing quite like that leaderboard I'm looking at right now. We are going to have some amazing golf. This one is going to have to be won.
EA Sports and the RNA are proud to present final round coverage of the 144th Open Championship. But this could be really good, Frank.
Oh, straight at it.
Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
Slight waggle, relaxed arms, ready to go. Frank, can one small tweak from an instructor lead to a big turnaround?
With the right player, yeah. You just want to hear the right message. It's like anyone in life. You just want to be pointed in the right direction.
He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. Speed wasn't bad on that long putt, but the read wasn't very good. These putts keep the round together.
That's a good par there, Rich.
Frank, number 11, the Eden, is really one of the more fascinating holes in all of golf.
Yeah, the two bunkers that the players normally worry about, Strath bunker in the front and the hill bunker to the left. What makes those two bunkers so difficult is the steepness of the faces in them.
Early part of his back nine and a good approach shot. Now we'll have this for birdie. Getting set now over the putt.
Oh, I thought they'd at least pick up a shot. Birdie looked like a sitter. Now par. Even par currently.
And he makes it for par. Frank, the charm of St. Andrews, the history of the old course, it all sort of comes into view here at the 12th, doesn't it?
Yeah, very pretty hole. Eden estuary to the right. Obviously a nice view of the township of St. Andrews in the distance. But long hitters can just lick their chops and have a crack at this green. All they've got to do is worry about that little pot bunker short. But either into the breeze or, if you're not a long hitter, you've got to worry about those four bunkers that are well placed smack bang in the middle of this fairway.
Crucial eagle attempt on the way. Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
You can't leave it short, Frank.
Oh, and especially right in the middle.
This is a really long putt, difficult birdie opportunity. Well, that's not the way you wanted to start out the backside here.
Yeah, you can't afford from inside 10 feet. It just, you feel like you have to make those, and I mean, they really sting when they miss.
Just drip that in.
Well, it's 4 1/4 inches. Use it all.
Frank, how about the bunkers here at 13? A rather ominous sounding name.
Yeah, the coffins, and they are that for a reason. If you finish up in there, well, the best you'll probably ever do is make a bogey, unless you're an absolute genius. They're to be avoided, certainly off the tee. If you do, it's still a difficult hole. The second shot, unless you hit a perfect tee shot, will be blind.
What a drive. Just tattooed that. And he's set up for his second shot here, looking to knock it on the green. Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. Well, that's how you play the game right there. Knock it on the green and give yourself a good look at birdie. Birdie here yesterday, trying to do it again today.
That birdie has to feel even better, Rich, with everything so tight at the top.
Right in the middle of a Donnybrook at this point.
Long and straight.
That's how you do it. Frank, it's a nice walk to make down the fairway when you can see your golf ball right there in the middle.
Rich, there's an old saying, fairway first. And there's another example. Hit it in the fairway, and the game becomes very straightforward.
Just a beautiful tee shot. That is tasty looking right there, Frank. Just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from there.
Nothing wrong with that one. Only about 15 feet away and a chance for birdie.
It's that sneaky distance. Good read, good line, well played.
Back here at the 15th, and Frank, this fairway narrows up in a hurry.
And it's also, there's a big crop of heather that sort of constrains you if you can hit it just straight down the middle. Only the brave go down the right side, brings in those little bunkers called robs, and they'll rob your scorecard, that's for sure.
Chance to get it close here. Frank, you played in conditions all over the world. Here come the winds now. What's the mindset?
Well, this is really what separates the men from the boys. This is where you've got to tell yourself that it's an advantage to you. Obviously, the scores will go up a little bit, given the conditions. But once again, this is going to suit the stronger player today.
You like the old phrase, swing easy when it's breezy?
Definitely when you're hitting it into a head breeze. But down breeze, tee it up a little bit, try and ride that wind some more.
That had to really hurt, Frank, because it looked good all the way.
Well, this will test his mettle.
Settles in over the putt.
And that's a good par given the situation.
Still tight, still close. 16th hole is a par 4 here at the old course, Frank, with another one of those sort of funky features.
Yes, a series of 3 bunkers called the Principal's Nose, plus that out of bounds on the right. So really err on the side of caution, avoiding both the out of bounds and the Principal's Nose. Nothing wrong with going a little bit left here. But the further left you go, then it makes that second shot that much harder because you'll have to bring it across that little pot bunker in the front with the wig.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Good-looking shot right here. See if he can get this one to drop here at the 16th for a birdie. Birdie try again here today. Well, you could see he thought he had that.
It looked in the whole way until the end.
Well, you couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Good work right there. He'll settle for par. Frank, this may well be the most famous hole in the world. It's the road hole here at the Old Course, number 17.
Yeah, without doubt, Rich. The vistas have changed over the years. It used to be a series of railway sheds down the right, and you had to hit it over across those. Now you hit it off across the corner of the hotel. So blind tee shot, further right you go, the shorter and the better angle you have in. And you need a good angle in because you mentioned it, road hole, it's got the road hole bunker that sits perfectly in that left front of this par 4 green. There's a bunker over there.
I think he's headed for it. He just missed the bunker. Third shot, looking for a good one. Very nicely done, right on the dance floor.
It's no snack, though.
That's just a poor putt right there. No other way to say it. And a drop shot, a bogey at 17. This one just requires a little bit of focus. Drop shot and a dropped position on the leaderboard.
This game's never about being perfect. It's about being resilient.
Frank, is there a more famous landmark in the sport than the tiny Swilken Bridge?
I think when you think of this game, the way in which we've followed it and covered it, Rich, over the last decade plus, no. It is just symbolic, not just with this golf course, but the game of golf itself, because every great champion has managed to make his foray across to Scotland and play the Old Course and walk across that bridge.
I mean, he just blasted it down the fairway, well over 325 yards. Should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Well, that's how you do it. Hit it close, take the pressure off that putt. That one should be no problem. Didn't fare too well on this hole yesterday. Made a bogey. Well, that was a nice birdie, and no doubt he's feeling pretty good about his position on this leaderboard.
A series of good holes in a row has got him to this point.
Just a fantastic week of golf. Add that one to the win count.
A lot of great quality players out there, and to come on top of that leaderboard is truly a great accomplishment.
Today's coverage brought to you by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. Today it's live opening round coverage of the California Classic. All set to go, we take you to the first hole. Getting ready to get the tournament started, Frank. First tee jitters?
Oh, everybody gets them. That's the beauty of it. If you don't, you shouldn't be playing this game. Just try and think nice and slow.
He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball. And this shot is on the fairway, over 300 yards. That is a beauty, a real beauty. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt.
How did that not go in?
Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. And he's putting for par now. Moves into the top 20 after the par. To the second hole now, par 4, only 371 yards. Frank, what do players need to look out for off the tee?
It's really a layup hole here. No need to hit driver down there. The biggest bunker in the distance there is about 300 yards. You have to avoid that. Nothing wrong with hitting an iron or even a hybrid off this.
Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
Slight waggle, relaxed arms, ready to go. Frank, the skins game was played at PGA West, the stadium course, many years ago. 1987, Lee Trevino did something that really stood out. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, to make a hole-in-one anywhere is obviously something to be remembered. But when you do it on TV, national TV, and on a hole like 17, Alcatraz, all the way across the water, everybody complained about how hard the golf course was, and Trevino gives it that little bang, little cut, bang, in it goes, one. Trevino could play any golf course, no matter how hard it was.
It was a one that was worth 175,000, 175,000 bucks. That won him the carryover skin in the skins game. This is when the game is fun, Frank, when you get one high in the air and you have a down breeze and you just watch it stays in the air forever.
Yeah, the hang time on that.
Well, that's how you play the game, right there. Makeable putt right here, currently sitting at 1 under for the round. And with the birdie, moves into the top 10 on the leaderboard.
And moves into some very good company.
For those of you just tuning in, we're checking in now on our featured golfer here at the 4th. Couple of birdies already on the card. Still early, Frank, but we've seen some solid play.
This is exactly how you want to start the first round of the tournament, Rich.
Struck that one pure, about 8 feet away. Beautifully done. Frank, this would be a nice way to jumpstart the round.
Yeah, his momentum can quickly go in the right direction if he makes this.
Comfortably inside the cut line, the young prodigy makes another birdie. Well, here we are at the first par 5 of the day, the 5th, 535 yards. Frank, break it down.
It's called double trouble. Reason why, there's the lake on the tee shot on the left side, and then he's reversed it up there on the second shot. He put the lake on the right.
That one is in the fairway, down there about 290 yards. Looks like he's going to have a go at it here at the par 5, his second shot. On the green, sure, but plenty of real estate between the ball and the hole. Needs a pair of binoculars to see the hole. So a long putt there and just didn't read it quite right. And getting ready for the putt. Looks primed right now.
Anything other than backing up. Very aggressive. That birdie, now in second. That was a great first day up there, Rich.
I really enjoyed it. We saw a lot of birdies, excellent play, and some impressive names on top of this leaderboard. Anybody's game. This is EA Sports coverage of the PGA Tour. Today it's live second round coverage of the California Classic.
I'm loving that balance.
Oh, this looks good.
Certainly is.
That is tasty looking right there, Frank. Just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from there.
Terrific golf shot. And now that for an easy birdie. And this would be nice. 2 straight birdies. Yet another birdie and on the march, 7 under for the tournament. Now to the par 4 15th hole, 468 yards. Frank, what do you like about number 15?
The variation of the bunkering here, Rich, I think is excellent. The bunker that meanders its way down the right side tends to go to the right, and then you start to see those 2 bunkers down the left side. You've really got to try and take that second one on the left out of play. That requires something in excess of 280 yards. From there on in, you've got a chance. Now, this is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man. He has a birdie opportunity here. Just continuing to play some really good golf. 8 under par for the championship. Now to the par 5 16th. Frank, this is a pretty solid hole.
Like all the other par 5s here, length gets a big advantage here. This hole, as you mentioned, bends to the left, and that bunker can be taken out of play by the longest hitters. 326 yards will get you past that. Otherwise, there's sort of a V shoot down the right side that everybody else has to respect.
Nicely played shot, about 310 yards down the fairway.
Second shot.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
See if he can get this one to drop here at the 16th for a birdie. See if he can go one better than yesterday when he made par. This putt for birdie. Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. In for par. Well, Frank, the most famous island green obviously is TPC Sawgrass, Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida, Pete Dye's creation. People forget this is also an island green here in the California desert.
And it's called Alcatraz, and I've never heard of anyone trying to break into Alcatraz.
Chance for birdie after that beautiful shot. Birdie try again here today. Had a nice birdie on this hole yesterday.
Oh, what a bonus.
Well, there it is. They call it Alcatraz. Just sitting out there on the water, 168 yards away, Frank.
Well, speaking of water, that water looks so peaceful, doesn't it? It'd be a shame to spoil it with a splash.
Frank, right where you want to be.
Wouldn't be better if it was on a tee.
Frank, this approach shot seems pretty straightforward. Just don't hit it left.
Yeah, it's a tough second shot. It's that visual. Once again, you've got that green that's angled to the left. But once again, like a few holes out here, you do not have to hit directly at this flag. You're allowed to move that flag mentally 15, even 20 feet to the right. There's nothing wrong with that.
Solid play, heart of the green. 10-foot putt left. Just misses. Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Hoping to drop only one shot, this for bogey. Bad news is, that's a bogey. The good news, still tied for the lead.
He's the only one disappointed. The rest of the field aren't. It made it a real cat fight.
EA Sports is proud to present today's PGA Tour coverage. Today it's live third round coverage of the California Classic. Frank, we're not at the beach, we're in the California desert, but I'm staring at plenty of sand right here.
Yeah, looks can be deceiving here. This is where somehow you do have to focus on exactly where they put the flag, and that's on the green stuff. Green is 36 paces deep. If you can just focus on that and don't let Pete Dye's sort of weirdness with all that snaking bunkers left and right, then just try and approach it as a straightforward par 3. I know it's easy to say, hard to do.
So the dominant performance continues.
Yeah, we're watching two tournaments right now, the one at the top and the rest.
Frank, what'd you say at the top? die on the left, die on the right. Is this what you were talking about?
Exactly, yeah. The fifth hole here, it's called double trouble. So yeah, there's chances for grief on both sides of this fairway. But if you're long enough, if you can just sneak it past 335, that's where the water runs out. This is reachable.
So if you do sneak it out there, and that would be the longer hitters, you might have what into this green?
Well, you can get home hybrid, maybe even something shorter. But remember, it's called double trouble. Avoid that. Maybe double eagle.
And a chance for eagle after that perfectly played shot. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Wow, I thought that was in. Clean this up with a tap.
That birdie has to feel even better, Rich, with everything so tight at the top.
Right in the middle of a Donnybrook at this point. Frank, I love a par 3 where you have to hit one solid golf shot. Anything less, and you might pay a severe price. 255-yard par 3-6. What a hole.
No, you love watching somebody else play a par 3 like that.
Right. Frank, it hit the green, but just didn't have enough backspin.
Yeah, you wonder what he's thinking on that. Rich, that was some shot out of the rough. I really didn't think he could even get that on the green.
Well, just to get it on the green, as you say, I think is a big win. Oh, that hurts. So frustrating sometimes on the greens, isn't it? Drop shot here at the 6th. Gives up a shot and moves down to 2nd place.
Bounce back time.
We're at the 7th now, 346 yards with plenty of water on that right side. How do you handle this one, Frank?
You've got to pick a target there. A lot of people think when they're laying up off the tee, and that's exactly what this hole is. You just blaze away at something down the left side. But if you're going to pick a tree, don't just pick the tree. Pick a branch or a leaf. Be more specific.
Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living. Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
Not too unhappy with that, Frank, at 17 feet.
No, from that distance, it's more than good.
Frank, that birdie will help the cause. 555-yard par 5 8th hole. Frank, is this a 2-shotter or a 3-shotter?
Good question, Rich. It starts to shrink down by the walkway, which is around that 330-yard mark. That's the decision has to be made. Personally, I think you try it at first, because even if you do find a fairway bunker, then it is certainly a layup. If you've got the distance, it's well worth the risk.
Frank, that is position A.
Yeah, the tee shot was like silk, Rich. I mean, just sets up that second shot so beautifully. Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. Into the thick stuff, that's a difficult lie. Just trying to make clean contact from the rough. On the green, and looking at a birdie opportunity. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. pretty much doing everything right this week. 11 under for the tournament. Finishing out the front nine with a pretty difficult par 4. Again, water down that right side. But this could be really good, Frank.
Oh, straight at it. Long and straight.
That's how you do it. Frank, we were commenting earlier in the day that this round had really gone wrong. Are you surprised that he's been able to put it back together?
I certainly am. It lost his composure, his rhythm. So really to be playing this well so quickly after that, tip your hat.
Always a chance in this game. And it makes the green in regulation. Birdie chance here. Very long putt, though.
Got to be a little careful if it gets away on him.
You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. That's a solid par. Still in it, Frank. Good third round, Frank, and a good spot heading to the final 18.
Yeah, to be in the top 5 right now, the caliber of this field, know that your game is good enough too, and a legitimate chance of taking home the trophy come tomorrow night. This really is what all those hours on the range contribute to, this moment right now.
This is EA Sports coverage of the PGA Tour. Today, it's the final round of the California Classic. Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
That's a beautiful shot, and that sets him up for a really easy putt. Par yesterday, now for birdie. Wow, that was so close, Frank.
Just time to forget that one. I mean, he couldn't hit that much better.
For the par. In for par. Now another short par 4. It's only 389 yards. But Frank, where could a player go off course, so to speak, at this 14th?
Well, this is a hole where you have to play your own game. If you're a longer hitter, I think you can challenge that bunker and knock it over there. And if you're shorter player, you should be only looking at that left side. You're always going to feel like you've left something out there on a hole like this. You always think you could have done the other option. But this is where you've got to stick to what you think is your game plan.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on that. Easy birdie.
Locked in on the read and the speed. And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
Now at the 15th, par 4, 468 yards. It is nicknamed Turning Home as we are making our way towards the close of this round.
Oh, that's fine.
Frankie's cranking it and banking it. Giant drives, a boatload of birdies. What a round.
Yeah, these are the days you just dream for. We know golf's not that easy, but on a day like today, savor it and just keep going. Keep doing it.
So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot.
It's no snack, though.
Wow, what a putt. That is huge. Frank, this could be an exciting and pivotal point in the round, the par 5 16th.
Especially if the player decides to have a go here. If you're going to take it on a direct line, then you've got to carry all of that bunker complex. But then the other thing to realize, what's the worst thing that can happen? Just in the bunker, right? It's worth a go. Either that, hit it down the right side. There's no way you're going to reach this par 5 and 2.
So from the rough back to the fairway, that's the right way to go.
Yeah, didn't take the bait, and at least now he's only going to play the price of a poor tee shot. Still got a good chance, though, getting away with par.
Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. That's a sensible approach shot right there. In good position on the green. Made a par in his previous round. This time, it's for birdie. Well, there's an opportunity wasted.
Just knocking him for a par, and let's forget about this one. Golf is not about perfect, but it's going to hurt the course.
Has his par. Well, Frank, the most famous island green obviously is TPC Sawgrass, Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida. Pete Dye's creation. People forget this is also an island green here in the California desert.
And it's called Alcatraz. And have you ever heard of anyone trying to break into Alcatraz?
Hoping to get this up and down here, Frank, at the par 3 after missing the green.
Yeah, it's not all bad.
Second shot coming out of the rough here. Pretty good shot right there. This one just requires a little bit of focus.
Comfortably knocks it in.
Well, Frank, hopefully the player has arrived here at 18 in a pretty good frame of mind. If not, you have to be thinking, oh, here we go again. Water left. I mean, you could shoot 100 out here on this golf course if you don't have your best stuff.
Yeah, this is another example of, you're right, if you've got the bad mojo going, this is not the hole you want to be playing. Water left, bunker's right. Somewhere in between, though, this fairway.
Great way to finish off the final approach shot with a birdie opportunity.
It's that sneaky distance. Oh, now that is going to hurt.
And he's putting for par now. Has it. Frank, it was a great setting with great crowds. We saw plenty of very good golf. Your thoughts?
I think the course really extracted some of the golf that we saw. It forced these players to play just some great golf. And it wasn't just like a pitch and a putt golf course. So I think seeing the guys tested, seeing the players tested at this level, it was a treat.